Yeah, good afternoon, my great people. How are you guys doing today? So, yeah, we're on our visit to the great relics of Badagry. So, we're on a stop by to refuel the bike. Understand? So, if you come into Badagry, the best and the sweetest way to transit is using the bike. Trust me, it's fun. Let's meet at the museum. Yeah, good afternoon. This is Manu Shavis and Tol. So, we're here in Badagry. So, we're here to visit the relics as said today. Now, talking about our culture is very important. So, we don't just have to throw away our culture, we're doing to let the international community to understand how beautiful our culture has. So, here I am at the chief Mori White Cap Royal family. So, we're here and we're about to go into the tour. So, let's get started. A bit it. Okay, so good afternoon, great people. This is Big Manny. This is the CEO of Manny Travels and Tours. So we're here at Badagry. Want to take you through our culture and our belief, which is our heritage. So you can come in. So we are the Mori Royal Home.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
And welcome to Badagry.
Yo, thank you very much.
My name is Mobi Temitope.
Okay.
And I'm the curator. But now I'm the curator of the Movie Slave Ellis Museum,
Okay, go.
where we have the real chain, shackles, used on our forefathers during the period of slavery. Badagry was known to be a slave corridor. And any slaves captured from the Oyo Empire were usually brought down to Badagry. Any slaves captured from the eastern part of Nigeria were taken down to Calabar. Badagry and Calabar are the two major slave coasts we have in Nigeria for transatlantic slave trade. In the northern part of Nigeria, what they practice is called trans-Sahara trade, and slaves were taken through the Sahara Desert. But here, slaves were taken through the Atlantic Ocean. That's why they call it transatlantic slave trade. You can as well call it the Atlantic Triangular Trade. Atlantic Triangular Trade in what sense? The same slaves that were captured from Africa were taken down to Europe, where they made them work on the plantation. Sugarcane plantation, cotton plantation, tobacco plantation. The harvested produce will now be taken from Europe to America, where they transform it to finished goods. The goods were returned back to us in Africa.
Oh, so do you mean all these things are put on humans?
Yeah. So the chain here are over 500 years old.
Wow.
Because slave trade lasted in Badagry for about 350 to 400 years.
Wow.
The trade was abolished on paper in the year 1852. If you go to the British archive, they will tell you that slave trade was abolished in Badagry in the year 1852.
Wow.
The British, the Dutch, the French, and the Portuguese were coming to buy slaves in Badagry. Wow. And the British government came down to Badagry in the year 1852 and signed the treaty of the abolition of slavery with our forefathers. So the British slave merchants stopped coming to Badagry from the year 1852. The Portuguese were still coming. And so somebody from Badagry now waged war against the Portuguese slave merchants in the year 1888. Talking about Chief Sumbu Mobi, the man buried here, the father was a middleman between the white and the black. The father usually buys slaves from his fellow black and resell to the white men. And the father was nicknamed Chief Mobi by the white men because whenever they come around to buy slaves, the man usually offers them kola nut. He tells them in Yoruba language, Emobije. Okay. They always hear him saying Emobije each time they come around. So they gave him a nickname, Chief Mobi.
Chief Mobi was actually from Emobije. So my people, if you want to give me a name, so just give me a good name. And this is actually what the US and the Americans do. So according to my brother here, he said whenever the white man come as a culture in Nigeria, that whenever an elder or a statesman comes to your place, even in the Yoruba land, and I think the Igbo people do that also, so they would ask you to take the kola, which is Obi. So that's where the name Chief Mobi comes from. So let's hear.
So the Mobi is now a chieftaincy name, a chieftaincy title in Badagry, also a surname, and that's my surname Mobi.
Okay.
I happen to be his fifth generation.
Okay.
The man buried here happen to be his fifth generation. He doesn't like the business the father was doing.
Okay.
And he saw the copy of the document the father signed in the year 1852. Okay. So he had to wage war against the Portuguese slave master who refused to leave Badagry.
Wow.
So the man buried here was the one that seized the chain from the white men in the year 1888. Wow. And he died naturally in the year 1893. Wow. If not for him, the trade may last longer. Okay. And this is called the neck lock for the neck of the slaves. As soon as they hand over slaves to the white men, they put this chain around their neck. And this, you have to be around them for 3 to 4 months, working inside the farm. While working inside the farm, this will have to be around them for 18 hours every day. Wow. While traveling, this will be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. Wow. And you can imagine the weight of the chain on the neck of human being walking inside the farm for 18 hours every day, 3 to 4 months traveling on the Atlantic Ocean before getting to their final destination. Do you mind if I put this around your neck?
No, I don't.
I want you to feel the weight, just like this. I want you to feel the weight.
Wow. Damn, it's crazy.
So apart from the weight of the chain, what do you feel behind the back of your neck?
Sharp pain here.
So imagine this on the neck of human being, walking inside the farm for 18 hours every day, 3 to 4 months, traveling on the Atlantic Ocean. I usually tell people this is very light. Is that true?
It's not. No, trust me, you won't want to put this around your neck now. Wow, this is crazy.
Here's a torture weapon. And this is for a stubborn slave who refused to work inside the farm. Wow. Slave who disobeys his master.
What do they do with this?
They force this into their wrist.
Wow.
And most times this doesn't go in easily. What they do is to break the bone, to force this to the wrist of the slaves. Wow. After forcing this to the wrist of the slaves, they make them climb a platform and screw this up to a tall tree. Wow. Now remove the platform. The slaves will now be suspended on the tree, dangling from morning till night. Wow. In the course of doing this, most of them died. The white man doesn't care because our forefathers were using nesting of items. This is called the mouth clip for the mouth of the slaves. Slaves working inside the farm were usually not allowed to talk to one another, or they were not allowed to eat while working inside the farm. And you can imagine somebody working in the sugarcane plantation. That person will be the one to plant the sugarcane, nurture it. At the end of the day, he's not going to have a taste of what he has labored for. Wow. So for them not to talk or eat while working on the farm, they usually pierce their lips with hot iron, the lower and the upper lips. In the morning, while going to the farm, they put it in the mouth and padlock their mouth like this for them not to be able to talk or eat while working inside the plantation. And this is called the mouth clip for the mouth of the slaves. This is called the light chain for the babies. Any child given birth by a slave is a slave. Whether male or female, any child is a, and even a white man can impregnate a female slave, and the woman give birth to a white child. That child is automatically a slave. Also, wow. And these children were usually not allowed to be playing about the farm because the white men are afraid that in the course of jumping from one place to the other, they can step on the plant and kill the plant. So for the children not to be playing inside the farm, they gather them together and chain their wrists with the sides of the chain. Make them sit under a tree far away from where their parents are working. This is called the branding iron for writing on the body of the slaves.
Writing?
Slaves don't bear name. They bear the name of their master or any name given to them by the white men. Have you ever wondered why in Lagos we have families that are Yorubas, but their surname doesn't sound like a Yoruba name? You will have to bear your master's name. And that's why we have in Lagos or Abeokuta families that bear foreign name. Why do we have Brazilian quarters in Lagos? Why do we have Sierra Leone quarters in Lagos? These people were the ones that returned either from Brazil or from Sierra Leone after the abolishment of slave trade. So for the master of the slave to be able to identify their slaves, they will need to write their name on the body of their slaves. They put this in fire. And when this is red hot, they will now use this to write the name of the owner of the slaves on the body of the slaves. And this is what we now adopt as fashion today. Tattoo is what we call it.
So now I want to talk to you. You putting that on your body. Can you see what we're talking about here? It's kind of crazy. I don't believe this is real. I'm kind of chilling and fear right now. So
The children of the slave taken out of Africa saw write-ups on the body of their forefathers. And their forefathers could not tell them how that write-up go to their body. Because here in Badagry, we have a well, they call Spirit Attenuation Well. That's when slaves were forced to drink from and forced them to make some recitation, they become less aggressive and lose their memory.
wow.
So they could not tell their children how that write-up got to their body. And their children begin to pick this as fashion. Today we join them in picking this as fashion. The second function of this is to pierce the lips of the slaves.
Wow.
They put this in fire when this is red hot. They use this to pierce the lips of the slaves for them to be able to padlock their mouth, for them not to talk or eat while working on the farm. Wow. And the last function of this is to pierce the foot of someone slave who tried to run away, being captured. They put this in fire when this is red hot. They hit this into the foot to pierce the leg or break the bone beside the leg. And that is why we call this branding iron or bone breaker.
Wow.
This is called the ankle lock for the leg of two slaves.
Wow.
Two slaves are meant to walk with this around their ankle at the same time. And you can imagine this on the leg of two human beings walking at a time. This was the money we spend in Africa in those days, cowries. I'm sure you'd have come across this.
Yeah.
This was only recognized as means of exchange in Africa.
Wow.
The white man doesn't see this as money. And that led to the introduction of trade by barter.
Okay.
Items like gunpowder, dry gin, cotton, iron, mirror, tobacco were brought into Africa in exchange of human beings.
Wow.
You know, I was talking about the Atlantic Triangular trade the other time.
Yeah, of course.
We don't have dry gin.
Yeah.
Abi?
Yeah.
We don't have what's it called? Sugar in Africa then. Tobacco. So the slave taken out of Africa will be the one to work inside the sugarcane plantation.
Okay.
After processing it, the sugar will still be returned back to Africa in exchange of human being.
Wow.
So that's why they call it the Atlantic Triangular trade. So because the white man doesn't recognize this as money, they take our people out with items. Whatever they produce will be brought back to us in exchange of human being. A bottle of dry gin during the period of slave trade was in exchange of 10 human beings.
Wow.
So you can imagine the worth of human being. Today, this is up to 1,500.
Of course.
But this was in exchange of 10 human beings during the period of slave trade.
Wow, can I touch it?
Yes, you can. Like for the Trans-Sahara trade, animals were used in exchange of human beings.
Can you see this? Just 10 humans, and it's written there, inscribed there, 10 slave for a bottle of semen. Oh, that's crazy.
So in the northern part of Nigeria, animals were used in exchange of human beings, camel, donkey, and so forth, and so on. An horse then was in exchange of between 30 to 40 human beings. Wow. For an horse. For a king to have an horse, he will need to go and wage war against smaller communities, capture slaves for an horse. And you can imagine when there is competition over there in their country, and the first prize you go home with an horse, second prize you go home with African virgin girl, meaning that the horse has value more than the African virgin girl.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
A mirror was in exchange of 10 human beings.
Mirror.
Who are the people that needs mirror? The kings.
Wow.
For them to see their face, they exchange 10 people for a mirror.
That's
An
crazy.
umbrella was in exchange of 40 human beings.
Wow.
Here's a cannon gun, and this is what annoys me most. A cannon gun. This size of a cannon gun was in exchange of 40 human beings. Why do we need this? They brought this to us to wage war against ourselves, capture slaves, and resell back to them. This size of the cannon gun was in exchange of 40. The big size of this for 100 human beings.
Wow.
If you have a cannon gun, you need gunpowder
Yeah,
to power it. The gunpowder will also be in exchange of human beings during the period of slave trade. Wow. And over there is slave drinking water bowl. 40 to 50 slaves drink water from this bowl at a time.
Wow.
And they drink with their hand being tied to the back. They bend down to lip water like animals. Most time, in the course of drinking water from these pots, they get caught because they have to struggle. The slaves have access to food and water once in a day, so they struggle to drink water. In the course of struggling to drink water, they push one another, they get caught by the edge of the pot, and the blood drips into the water. The slaves have no choice. They drink like that because they have access to food and water once in a day. And here's the picture of the well I was talking about the other time, the Spirit Attenuation well. At the point of no return, This well was the reason that place is really called the point of no return.
Wait. I'm starting to be nervous now. Do you mean when we go there, we won't be returning back?
No, you will definitely come back.
Okay, good.
Then it's point of no return, now it's point of return.
Oh, okay.
So, this well is in between the highland.
Okay.
Because that is an highland.
Okay.
We have lagoon water here, there is Atlantic Ocean at the back. So, at the middle of the highland, you'll be seeing this well. And slaves were forced to drink from the well. After drinking from this well, they force them to make this recitation. And after making this recitation, they become less aggressive. They lose their memory. And that was the reason why we have the blacks in diaspora. The people we call the black American now, if they had not forgotten their memory, I'm sure they will return back to Africa. Because they will have tell their children where they captured them from. Oh, I'm from Ile-Ife, I'm from Osogbo, I'm from Ibadan. So they will have retraced their roots back to Africa. But because they failed to tell their children where they came from, we have them in diaspora.
Oh, basically, I'm supposed to show you the recitation of this, but I'm not going to show you, so you won't lose your memory. So please, don't bother asking me about it. So let's.
Majority of slaves taken out of Africa are from Nigeria.
Oh.
Nigeria contributed 24% of slaves taken out of Africa.
Wow.
Angola 24. That's 48 from 2 countries in Nigeria, followed by Ghana 16%. And about 38.5% of slaves taken out of Africa were taken down to Brazil. And that is why today you will see some of our culture we practice in Yoruba land being practiced in Brazil. Oyo, Osun, Ifa, even the Yoruba we speak in Nigeria is their second official language in Brazil.
Oh.
Why? Majority of slaves taken out of Africa were taken down to Brazil. Oh. And they went with their God. Oh. They lose their memory, so they could not tell their children where they came from. Those ones you find in Lagos are originally not from Lagos. They don't know where they captured them from. When they return back, they have to settle down in Lagos or Abeokuta. You are welcome once again. Temitope Movie is the name.
Thank you very much.
1 or 2 questions before we continue.
Oh, I'm super fascinated like right now. So I want to take you through the other relics. So stay with us.
So I'm going to hand you over to the tour guide that will take you to other places in Badagry.